hot in the city this morning. It is 6 o'clock. Sun's not up just yet, but it's already starting off a little warmer than I'm used to so far. It is 6 o'clock. Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. I didn't really feel any wind this morning, and it just kind of felt stagnant, but it was a nice start. Didn't need a jacket heading out the door, and you likely won't either this morning.
I know, so you will like that. Thanks for waking up with us here on 13 Sunrise. I'm Julia Moffat along with Julia Brooks and Matt Standridge here this morning, and yeah, we're kind of slowly transitioning into different weather and certainly a different season that happens Monday, right?
Monday, official start of fall. We still have 4 days left of summer, so we're trying to get it in as much summer as possible before some cooler air and some rain is on the way. But these evenings have been, or these mornings have been wonderful.
They really have.
Comfortable. And tomorrow we're going to have a nice morning for Dom out there at Mooresville. You don't have to worry. Sometimes they bring all the band equipment.
Yes.
Don't have to worry about rain. Nothing like that.
And not too hot in the morning.
Not too hot either. Very comfortable weather. So great weather for Operation Football in the morning. We can't wait to go meet the Pioneers tomorrow morning. In the meantime, things are quiet. They're a little bit hazy out there. You'll really notice the haze once, of course, the sun comes up. Throughout the day as you're looking up and even through sunrise, there'll be maybe a small little cloud passing on by. For the most part, though, you're going to see plenty of sunshine today. Again, summer is locked in place, but only for a couple more days. Finally, some big changes are underway. So if you've been enjoying the summer weather, soak it in while we've got it. But because there hasn't been a lot of wind and there's been a lot of high pressure with sunlight, you can actually create a little bit more ozone. So we've had some air quality alerts, so watch out for that. But there's no wind to move the air around to really clear us out. But I think by the weekend we'll start to clear the air out and get some rain in here too. Right now we're in the 50s for the most part when you go north of Indianapolis from Jay County to White County. Good morning with 50s, 58 in Lebanon, 59 in Noblesville, 56 good morning in Delaware County. Delaware County, we have a new burn ban that's in effect, and so does Jay County and then Putnam County too. So we're watching out in Crawfordsville and Greencastle. Greencastle, you're in Putnam County, 55 degrees, 60 in Carmel and Fishers, 59 in Martinsville, and 60 degrees reporting in Bedford. But those are the air qualities again today. We could have some more again tomorrow too, but a hot summery forecast in place today as we're headed to school. And then there's a system on the way. We're going to let you know when rain will arrive and when some cooler air will also come in too. But let's talk about traffic this morning. We do have some slow traffic on I-70 in the eastbound direction as you just passed Shaland Avenue. We had some police lights. The camera wasn't fully in view, but it looks like everything's being alleviated. So maybe it's just a small fender bender and folks are trying to get over, but it looks like I-70 is looking a lot better. This is the camera there by Shaland Avenue. You're looking off towards the west out there this morning. It looks like traffic's fine. It looks like traffic's fine on the other side of 465. So that is no longer an issue. We'll keep a close eye on traffic throughout the rest of the morning. Julia?
All right, thank you. Well, something we have seen all week, the First Amendment, a part of the Bill of Rights that's been around since 1791, protecting free speech. So how are people getting fired from their jobs over speaking out over the Charlie Kirk assassination?
Longtime late night host Jimmy Kimmel and his staff are the latest to suffer consequences of doing so about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Anna Chalker is live this morning with more on ABC's decision and also the fine line between free speech when it comes to private and public companies. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely just minutes before it was set to tape. So if you've been on social media this morning, you've probably seen a lot of posts and back and forth conversations about what happened to Jimmy Kimmel's show and how if this is a violation of free speech. So I want to read you what he said on the show on Monday. So he addressed the investigation into Kirk's murder in his monologue. He said, quote, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, doing everything they can to score political points from it. This sparked backlash from the FCC, the chairman threatening to take action against ABC and its owner Disney. That's when ABC made that decision to suspend the show indefinitely. President Trump also responded to this move. He posted on Truth Social in part, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what it had to be done." Fans say that announcement came when they were walking into the studio for the taping.
Because I was very excited to watch the show, but there was no explanation at all. They just came out, they told us, "We're really sorry guys, sorry for the inconvenience. I'm just gonna have to ask everyone to leave." And there was no explanation, like we were keep asking each other, and we didn't know what was going on.
SAG-AFTRA responded to this, saying the union condemns the suspension. In a statement, they say our society depends on freedom of expression. Suppression of free speech and retaliation for speaking out on significant issues of public concern run counter to the fundamental rights we all rely on. No word on when or if Kimmel's show will return. Now, ABC does fall under a private employer, meaning that there are less First Amendment protections of free speech on their employees compared to a public employer like a government entity. So coming up, we're going to be talking about this on the local level, how a university employee here in central Indiana was fired on posts that she made on a personal social media account.
And that is such an important differentiation to make, because so many people are asking questions about how this could happen. And we see here public versus private, totally different things. Thank you, Anna.
And also, before ABC Disney decided to pull Kimmel's show, some major TV station owners had already decided to preempt that late night talk show.
That includes Sinclair Broadcasting and Nexstar, one of the country's largest TV station owners. Nexstar announced early yesterday that it would be preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future over the company's objections to Kimmel's remarks.
And it is also important to note right now, for transparency, Nexstar is in the process of merging with our company, Tegna. The merger will need FCC approval first, though.
Now, our coverage of Charlie Kirk's murder, the investigation, and a lot of the fallout that we've talked about here continues online. We're following the latest developments in the court case against the suspect and ongoing reaction from across the country. You can read more and follow along at WTHR.com.
Well, it won't be long before ICE detainees will be housed at a facility in Miami, the correctional facility there. The state prison is in Bunker Hill, Indiana. That's about 65 miles outside of Indianapolis.
Now, leaders of the Department of Corrections are asking for almost $16 million, they say, to get this facility ready to do that. Marina Silva is in studio this morning to share more about what the heads of the Department of Correction are asking for here. Good morning.
Well, good morning. $16 million is going to the Department of Corrections to get the prison ready for detainees. And I've been looking into some of those upgrades like lighting, fencing, and even temporary housing. So far, we've learned the prison will only house men, and they'll be coming from across the country. Most will stay between a month and a month and a half. Indiana will bill the federal government $291 a day for each ICE detainee. Right now, the state spends about $75 a day to house just one inmate. DOC Commissioner Lloyd Arnold testified in front of the Budget Committee this week.
I don't want to come to you for more money. It is a high rate, but keep in mind we are housing them, we're feeding them, giving them medical care. They're getting their legal rights, everything they have, paying to them.
We do know that the facility is making 1,000 beds available, and the feds have guaranteed Indiana that at least 450 of those beds will be filled every day for 2 years, meaning the state would be bringing in about $79 million into the general fund. Now, coming up at 6:30, like I said, I've been looking into what are some of those upgrades that need to get done in just a couple weeks by the time detainees start to get here, and I'll bring those to you.
Okay, so a couple weeks is the timeline. Do we have an exact date on when that would happen?
They could come as early as October 1st.
Okay, so pretty tight
Yes.
time to have this all settled.
Yes.
Thank you, Marina.
Thank you.
Well, we have an update to a story we've been following for a while. This is crazy. 4 homemade explosive devices, marijuana, psychedelic mushrooms, all found inside an Indianapolis home.
And all of this was found as police were investigating a case of road rage. Someone fired a shot along 465 back on August 21st on the northeast side, and police put out a picture asking to find this motorcyclist. Well, a man told police that a motorcyclist was passing drivers quickly and riding next to cars illegally, so he honked his horn. And that's when police said that motorcyclist backed up, pointed a gun at the driver, and then fired it.
So tipsters looked at the pictures that police released, and they led them to 19-year-old Logan Quisenberry. Police say officers, when they went to investigate his home, they found those explosives and drugs when they searched looking for links to the suspect.
It's not just about identifying the particular individual who's involved, but is there more going on here? And they did an outstanding job of following up on every single lead.
Quisenberry is scheduled to be back in court next Wednesday. Well, we do have new details for you this morning about a deadly shooting that happened in Greenwood Tuesday night.
Police now say that the victim, 22-year-old Beaton and Burrow, was just a bystander. They say that he was shot outside of his apartment when he was hit by a bullet that was intended for someone else. Officers tracked the suspected shooter to a hotel on the far east side of Indianapolis, and they were arrested there. The apartment leasing office would not say if the suspect also lived at the apartment that person was shot. People from 2 Indianapolis neighborhoods got a chance to ask a lot of questions about 2 separate plans to bring data centers to Indianapolis.
So those living, first of all, in the Franklin Township and then the Martindale Brightwood neighborhood, they really want some information, some clarity about what's going on here. So the Martindale Brightwood proposal came to light this week, and neighbors quickly turned to Protect Franklin Township because they've been going through this and they wanted to learn from their experiences.
We know so little about the data center process, so all information is valuable information.
The goal is to, fight back if that's what they want to do, but we want to share as a community what we know and what we've seen.
So right now, the company behind the Martindale Brightwood proposal is still being kept secret, but we're told representatives will be here to visit Indianapolis on Tuesday so they can talk to the community and answer all of those important questions. That meeting is at 6 o'clock. It's being held at the Frederick Douglass Park.
Your time is 6:11. A new program is helping Indy residents with diabetes. We'll tell you how dipping in is teaching people about healthy habits.
And 3 police officers shot and killed in Pennsylvania overnight. The violence shattering a quiet farming community.